Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine. Welcome to this month's Homeschool Chit Chat. This is for September 2017. I'm recording this on September 17th and a lot has happened since my last recording in the middle of August. So the first thing that I want to say is that if you haven't already clicked the notification bell, I encourage you to do so. It's right after you click the subscribe button, a little notification bell pops up, and if you push that button, then you'll be notified when I release a video, but more importantly, you'll be notified when I go live. Now, I definitely want to go live this year because it was so much fun doing the live streams last year. But I'm not sure that I'll have time to pre-announce them and make a video letting you know when I'm going live. So if you click the notification bell, then you'll be alerted when I do go live. And if you're on a mobile device, then you have to set your settings to be notified from YouTube, I think. Anyway, so I encourage you to click that notification bell so that not only will you know when I go live, but you'll also know when I release a video. Now this will be good for two reasons. The first is that I'm not sure what my upload schedule is going to be like this year. Last year I was able to release videos Monday through Friday, and that worked really well for the content that we were making in our homeschool and then some cooking videos as well. But this year I'm actually not quite sure how we're going to do this. And I have more to say about that actually, but if you click the notification bell, then you will know when I am releasing a video, which usually it's in the morning, Monday through Friday, but I just don't know if I'm going to be doing 5 days a week this year. We'll see. But also, the other thing is that you'll be, of course, able to know when I'm releasing videos, and if you were interested in seeing them, then I highly encourage you to see them when they're released, because periodically I will go through my channel and I will remove videos and I'll just basically retire them and they just won't be on my channel anymore. And I've done that. Sometimes I'll put them back into playlists and sometimes I just completely take them off. It's for a number of reasons. Some videos just don't really represent my channel anymore, or there's just, the content was kind of trendy or just something that was specific for that period of time, and it just doesn't really go with the rest of the videos that I have. But mostly you will see videos that are within playlists that represent different main lesson blocks or unit studies that we do. And those videos, they should mostly always be there, even if they are removed from my channel. Sometimes they remain on those playlists and they'll just be unlisted videos. But for the most part, if I'm going to remove a video, it's just going to be, retired. So if you're interested in seeing videos when they're released, then I would encourage you to click that notification bell so that you can see them. Okay, a ton has happened in this past month, and none of it was actually homeschool. So we are really behind, and I really dislike starting the year off so behind, because it's just not a good way to start the year off. It just doesn't create a good rhythm. It creates more this stress, we gotta get things done, when it really should be kind of a nice, exciting time. But a lot has happened in this past month that has prevented us from officially starting school. Actually, I should say unofficially starting school, because officially we started on August 15th, and we are going to be now finally unofficially starting on September 18th. So this is going to alter a ton of stuff. At least it should, because my focus and dedication now is going to be on our homeschool, which has consumed my time over this past month, I should say. That is an announcement that I will be sharing with you in just a little bit. But some things occurred that prevented us from starting when I had intended, which was after Labor Day weekend. So I'm going to share with you those things right now because I think they're kind of exciting. And if you follow me on Instagram, then you already know. And basically, two of my nieces came to visit. They're from out of town. And this kind of changed what we were going to be doing in that time because we wanted to spend time with them. In the same 2 weeks that they were here for 3 weeks, my husband had some work up in Northern California, so we decided to accompany him and turn it into a little road trip, and then my nieces and my mom came along with us, and so that was like super exciting, and we did so much stuff in San Francisco. And again, you probably saw some pictures on Instagram on my story, and then I also posted some just some pics, and we just had a really good time. I love San Francisco. I love the Bay Area. It's one of my favorite places, and we were able to do a whole lot of stuff in a short space of time because my nieces hadn't ever been there before, at least not that they could remember. And so, I mean, they might have been there when they were really young, but the point is that we packed a ton of stuff into 5 days. The first thing is that we left super early in the morning. Now, we've never left quite this early before. I think we hit the road around 5 a.m. or 4:45 a.m. It was really early. So that meant that we got up to our destination around noon, 12:30, which meant that we had the later part of the afternoon to do some things, and we fully took advantage of that. And we went to Muscle Rock in, I think it's Daly City, so just south of San Francisco. And I had decided on that particular location because it has geological significance, and this is going to work really well with 2 units that we are doing, both our ocean unit as well as our mineralogy unit. And so I had found that place while reading a book called, I think it was called Assembling California by John McPhee, I believe. But that information is in the description box below, so you can go check it out. But in the opening pages of that book, it talked about a location in Northern California where the Pacific Plate and the North American continent plate kind of, that's where they come together, but that's also where they go off into the ocean, basically. So there is a rock structure there that sort of signifies the boundary between those 2 plates, but not exactly, because the boundary is not just a line, but it had some geological significance, and I thought that was perfect to add to our unit. And we took some pictures, and we just were there, and that's going to be a nice thing to refer back to when we get to that part in our unit. So we spent the day there. It was a lot of fun, and we just really enjoyed it. And because I had already done a little bit of research and preparation for our ocean unit, I was able to identify some of the things that were on the rocks and explain it to my nieces and to my kids. And that was kind of fun because it just kind of gives the whole area and the whole experience a little bit more significance. So we also did a bunch of city stuff as well, and what was really great about taking my nieces is that we were able to do things that we hadn't done in a really long time, because once you do some of the things in a city that you visited, you may not always go back to those same things. So one thing that I really enjoyed doing was riding the cable cars, which I had done before, but I had done either with young kids or with a lot of kids, and it wasn't quite as relaxing and enjoyable as this time around, and this time was so much fun. I have to say that those conductors really have to work hard. They are really just cranking those gears. Like, I really loved it. But also what I loved even more is the history behind the cable cars and just how they function. So I didn't miss the opportunity to take my nieces and my kids to the Cable Car Museum, which we have been to before and I absolutely love. And along those lines, I also took them to the Streetcar Museum because I am all about packing a lot of education into our road trips. And so we went there. And of course, no trip to any of those museums would be complete if we didn't also ride the streetcars and the cable cars. And so we were able to ride the streetcar as well. It was the F line, so look it up because it is a beautiful historic streetcar. Now, while we were at the Streetcar Museum, I bought a souvenir, and I bought a piece, an old rusty metal piece of the streetcar line, the track. And so, unfortunately, I bought that early on in the day when we were going to be doing a lot of walking and touring, and so I had a chunk of metal to carry around. Not just one chunk, but 2 chunks, because my niece said they would look great as bookends, and so I bought 2. And then my mother thought she would buy 2 also. So I was carrying around like these really heavy pieces of metal, and I was doing that at the same time that in my other hand I was carrying around extremely fragile, beautiful pottery that we purchased from, I think it's called UBU Ceramics. But again, you can check that information in the description box below. I will leave you a link to his Instagram because the pottery was gorgeous. I loved it. Actually, it was funny because we were walking along the street. It's like the like weekend street market, and we got there early and still stalls were setting up, and I was walking and we lost my mom because she had stopped at this stall. And we had continued to walk down and we were looking at other things, and while she was there she realized that we weren't with her, and she told the stall owner that's okay, they'll eventually find me. And sure enough, we retracked our steps and we found her, and then I ended up buying some ceramics because they were gorgeous. They were just beautiful. Now I have some plans on what I'm going to be doing with these beautiful ceramic jars, so stay tuned because you will be seeing them in some upcoming videos, because I don't just love beautiful souvenirs, I love them also when they are functional. And so we, or at least I, try to use our beautiful souvenirs in one way or another. So I've got a couple more of those souvenirs that are going to be in our homeschool, and you will see them coming up in some videos. Okay, so that was our San Francisco trip in which we did so many sites. And one thing that I try to do when we're on our road trips is to do something new and do something old. And so we like to do something that we've done before that we enjoy, but we also like to try to add something new. And since we've been traveling to San Francisco for so many years, we get to add things that sometimes they're like the non-touristy things. They're sometimes things that maybe locals would do, or something that you really have to search and find. And while we didn't do anything that was really unique this time, we did go to the Painted Ladies, so it's Postcard Row. And in all the years that I had been visiting San Francisco, I didn't clock it that there's actually a location that you can go to, which is actually pretty easy, to see these beautiful houses that have been on postcards and movies for forever. So we were there and we saw those houses, and they, I believe, are in the opening of Full House. But then on a little bit more research, we realized that that's not the actual Full House, and so we went to the Full House and we got to see that, which was kind of cool. I was driving, so I got to see it as I was driving, but we have a sunroof and my nieces got some incredible pictures through the sunroof, so that was a lot of fun. Anyway, I digress. That was not homeschool related, but that is what took our homeschooling time. Like, that's what replaced it. But I am ever finding educational opportunities no matter where we are, and so we did do quite a bit of educational things on our road trip, but nothing that directly related to the things that I had planned for homeschool. So we're back from our trip. We got home late Sunday night. Yeah, it was late Sunday night, so we left on a Wednesday. So that was a whole week that we were supposed to be homeschooling completely gone. And Sunday, while we were driving back, we stopped in Pismo Beach, which we have stopped there before. But this time was especially nice because it was maybe extremely low tide, because we saw some incredible critters, animals on the shore. It was amazing. We saw a live sand dollar, which I had never seen before. Actually, first, was that the first one I saw? Or did I see a shell of one, or the skeleton of one? Can't remember, but I was walking along the shore. The kids were getting wet, wetter than they should have been getting, because we were just driving through Pismo Beach. We hadn't really intended to stay there. And I spot this sand dollar in the sand, and I'm, of course, super excited. And as I'm getting closer, I'm realizing it's still purple, and it kind of has some hairs along the edges, so I'm like, oh, it's, you know, I feel like it's washed up, it's dead, but no, it was alive, and it was incredible because I'd never seen it, and I just really get excited about stuff like that. And while a lot of like critters creep me out, if you saw my most recent massive haul, then you know that I am not a fan of the spiders and those kinds of things, but a living sand dollar, no problem. I picked that one up and turned it over and was totally fascinated by it. And then later we saw some dead ones on the shore, which were kind of cool as well. And then we saw a live one, or maybe it was a dead one, I can't remember, that had a barnacle on it, which was super cool because the barnacle, the little animal inside the barnacle, like put its little foot out. It was super cool. Like, I totally get excited about stuff like that. So Pismo Beach is on my list to go visit again because a lot of times we only visit those sites while we're going up or back from our road trips. Okay, enough about my road trip. On to the following week when we really should have been starting school, and instead we didn't because my nieces were still here. So we took them 2 days. We went to LA. So as close as we are to LA, we never really go there to do touristy things. But for the first time ever, I went to Universal Studios, so that was kind of cool. And then on another day, I took them up and we went to see some more like iconic sites like the Hollywood sign and the stars on the ground and a couple other things. And then we saw a taping of a show, which was kind of cool. So that takes us all the way up to finally when we need to start school. And so, oh my goodness, I forgot one other huge milestone that occurred while we were in San Francisco. I completely forgot to mention this, and then we'll get to school, I promise. On September 7th, 2017, I celebrated my 2-year YouTube anniversary. So I've been on here for 2 years, which is really exciting. I absolutely love it. It has replaced every single hobby of mine, but finally, after 2 years, I decided that it needs to become more than a hobby. And so, if you haven't already noticed, ads are running in front of my videos. Oh, like I can't believe I did this, but I have finally done this. And so that is how I celebrated my 2-year anniversary here on YouTube with ads. Yay. So anyway, that was that. On to homeschool stuff. Alright, so I am working on our ocean main lesson block, and I am writing this as a curriculum, like full-blown 4-week curriculum that I am setting up very similar to the live education Waldorf curriculum. I really like the format, so I'm using that as a model to design my own curriculum, and I will do this as often as I can, creating these either you can call them main lesson blocks or unit studies, you know, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to be creating these, and hopefully I will have these available for sale on my website. Now, if you want to be first in line for these, and obviously I'm going to be releasing them with a huge discount, then I encourage you to check the link in the description box below for the newsletter on my website so that when I release that, you'll be first to know with the discounted price, because I will definitely do a deep discount to begin with, but then it's going to go back up. It's going to be high because it is a tremendous amount of work putting this together, and I am hopefully, I mean, I'm saying this before it's done, but I feel like so far of what I've done, I'm really, really pleased with it, but I haven't actually used my own curriculum yet, so I will let you know in my next homeschool update in October how it actually goes, because that might be news next time. We'll see. Alright, so that is for my ocean main lesson block, and that's what we're going to be starting now. Okay, so what did I not do in this past month? Well, I didn't do my vision board. I was super excited about my vision board, and I didn't get to it, and I am so bummed about it because I was really, really excited about it. Now, I have to say that my vision board is going to look tremendously different than any other vision board that you are expecting to see. And this is going to be a video collaboration with other homeschooling YouTubers. So if you are a homeschooling YouTuber that and you want to join this collaboration, let me know in the comment section below. Leave a comment and let me know that you want to join this. That way I can contact you when I finally get my act together and get my vision board done, because obviously it's going to be different than what you're thinking of, and it's taking me a little more time to actually put it together. But in my mind, I'm really happy with my vision board. It's just still in my head. I need to actually get it down on paper. All right, other things that are going on, like updates from last time that I should, you know, update you on. Cooking class with HelloFresh. I love it. I have been posting videos. Let's see, I've got, I think, an unboxing plus 3 videos up. I have another HelloFresh unboxing coming up and another 3 videos, and I think one more after that before I might take a break, or I might try a different service. My sister and brother-in-law use Blue Apron, so they were going to give me one of their free boxes, and I was going to try that out. Incidentally, I still have a few free boxes that I can give out now that we have been using it for, I think we've ordered 4 boxes so far, so I have a few free boxes to give out. Some of you we've just been in communication and I've just offered those boxes, so I think I've got 4 left. First come, first serve. Let me know if you're interested in them. You know, private message me. It would probably be the best way to do that. So we have been doing that, but my 15-year-old has not been doing the cooking class. It's been primarily my 11-year-old. Yes, he celebrated a birthday. He's no longer 10. And my 6-year-old. And so I need to figure out something for my 15-year-old. Something that's a little bit different than the food subscription service. So that needs to be altered a little bit. He has not started driver's ed in this past month. We need to work on that. And then for my 6th grader, we are going to be continuing with some of the math that we did last year, which are the Key to Curriculum series. We had done fractions and decimals. I think he's just about done with decimals, and he'll move on to percents. And then we'll move on to the geometry books that come with the Key to Curriculum series, because we have a small geometry main lesson block that is scheduled for this year if we can get to it. I mean, time is already running out because I haven't gotten started yet. I'm not super worried if we don't start when I intend to start. We just shift the whole year back by a little bit. The only thing that is complicating that is that we are now entering the fall season, and I wanted to do a fall main lesson block with my 6-year-old because we're continuing with more kindergarten activities with her because she's 6, not starting the 1st grade curriculum with her yet. And I had intended to do a pretty involved fall unit, which I haven't even gotten it together. It's been on my mind a lot. I have one tutorial that's already posted. I will link that at the end of this video and down below. And it's a little leaf embroidery project, which she's actually too young to do, to be honest. So it's more of what you would do as a teacher, and then you could have that as classroom decoration, or your daughter or your child could maybe cut the pattern out or help with the stitching. You know, actually she could, or a child probably could do the stitching. She hasn't done it yet. I had put that video together very quickly, and so it was just me demonstrating it. I think that about wraps it up. I probably missed something that was significant in this past month, and because I am anticipating that I've missed something, please check the description box below if you're curious, because I will list those things out that we have done this past month, as well as plans for this upcoming month, which basically include the fall unit, which I am not sure if I will be putting that together as a curriculum per se. I might not, I'm not sure. But I also have the ocean main lesson block, as well as, oh, I do have something that I have coming up, hopefully, and that is I want to share with you what we have planned for our morning opening activities. I had made a list a while back of all these things that I thought would make really interesting morning activities, kind of like a warm-up. And I want to share with you some of those things because I know for me, and maybe for you, when you finally get into it, all these ideas suddenly evaporate and you forget all these great ideas that you might have collected over, you know, the weeks or years prior to starting something. And so I want to share with you some of my ideas for our morning activities. Okay, I am going to end it here. You can check out some of those videos that I mentioned during this video right over here. You can check those out right now. And don't forget to click the notification bell if you're interested in seeing my live events, as well as any of the other videos that I am doing before they get retired. All right, until next month. I think that's everything.